I mentioned in an earlier video that the gas tank had a lot of rust in it. I'm not sure if you can see it inside there. See if I go inside, if with a light you can get a clear picture of that. I think that might show up a little bit better, but there's quite a bit of rust inside the bottom to the point that it's flaking, even up along the walls. It's pretty bad. So going to use hydrochloric acid, let it sit in there for a little while. Searching around, I found that the easiest way to do that is with a product called The Works. It was actually at Walmart for less than $1, and the primary ingredient here, or product, is hydrochloric acid. So I heard 50% dilution in water is what you need, figuring these are both about a quart. I think the tank's about a gallon. That going to put in 2 of these and fill the rest up with water and let it sit for a couple of hours, and then pour it out. Once you pull it out, though, that you need to rinse it out with some type of basic solution to counteract the chemical reaction. So I'm going to flush some baking soda mixed with water through it afterwards. Before you start, make sure you plug up the holes in the bottom. I just took a baggie here and wrapped it around the ends with some rubber bands, and then that you're using it in a place that if you do spill it somewhere, that you're not going to cause any damage. Make sure you wear gloves and eye protection, because hydrochloric acid is nasty. Looks like by design you can't pull the cap all the way off. Just pop it off so that you can squirt it out. So I'm going to go ahead and just, instead of fussing with it too long, just go ahead and squirt it through this. Also make sure you're in a well ventilated area. I'm in the garage with the main garage door open and the back door open as well. So after the bubbles went down, it actually did end up taking another about 1.5 quarts of water. So I guess I do have about a 50-50 dilution there. I brought it outside, I kind of propped it up with that wood piece there on the bucket so that it's level. And now that it's completely topped off, hopefully it's touching the top of the tank as well to get all the rust out. Anyway, I'm going to leave it like this for probably most of the day. Then I'll rinse it out and see how it looks. So I let it sit for about 5 hours. Then I flushed out all the HCl, the Works product that we got from Walmart. Most of the rust had already fallen out from that activity. There was still a little bit on the bottom. I flushed it out a couple of times. So before I use some baking soda to neutralize the chemical reaction, I put a few bolts and nuts in here and just kind of shaking it around just to pick up all those last loose pieces, and then I'm flushing it out and repeating the process. So I'll do this a few more times, and then I'll put a solution of baking soda and water in here, flush that around a couple of times to neutralize the effect, then make sure I dry it out real good, and then we'll take a look. So I'm just adding a little bit of baking soda now, and I'll mix it with some water and shake it around a bit to neutralize the HCl that we had. And I actually still have the bolts inside here too, just to kind of pick up every last bit of rust debris that's still in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the cap on so I can shake it real well. See if we can see in there. we'll get a light to show it, but it's very clean now. It's hard for me to see on my camera screen, but hopefully you're able to see how clean it is in there now, particularly compared to the way that it was when we started. And then the last thing I'm doing here is just blow drying it out to make sure that I get it nice and dry so that it doesn't re-rust. But just from the natural light here, I think you're able to see how clean the bottom of this gas tank has become. So, simple process, great results. Took about 4 or 5 hours, but most of the work was just waiting for it and then rinsing it out. So, I'm sure that this applies also to every other metal gas tank for motorcycle or otherwise.